France 24. Our guest today is a leading Syrian intellectual, Yassin Al-Haj Saleh. Thank you very much for being with us here today on the France 24 set.
Welcome. I'm happy to be here.
In this book, you mentioned another time in 2013 where you think that the opposition was about to take over Damascus and that there was outside pressure from the United States through Saudi Arabia not to take over Damascus.
Yes, I think that this was possible. I was in Douma. I was in Damascus in hiding for 2 years after the revolution. Then I went to Douma in April 2013. And I have connections, I have friends. And these were our information, and I believe in these information. Of course, not an American official told me this, but I think it was possible. The regime was banished from Douma in weeks and from all the Eastern Ghouta, and then everything stopped abruptly. There's a hidden, and there are a lot of hidden and unknown information about what happened, but my information from friends there that Jaish al-Islam was pressured by the Saudis, who were pressured by the Americans not to enter to Damascus. And
Why? Very quickly, why? Why not?
they want to engineer everything on their interests. They are not interested of the Syrians will overthrow the regime, and then they will be in a better position the Saudis didn't want a real change in Syria, and
The Americans are saying we want Bashar gone. The Saudis are saying they want Bashar gone. You say, from what you witnessed, they did the opposite.
You know that after the chemical massacre, the Americans punished the weapon, not the criminal. And with the Russian, three winners, the Americans who disarmed the regime from its chemical weapons, the Russians who saved a client regime, the regime who saved itself and stayed in power, and who was the loser? The Syrians, the Syrian rebels, the Syrian people. And this is a despicable day that will never be forgotten. I think that deal, that American-Russian deal, I personally will never forget that there was a big betrayal of the Syrian, and at that time only 100,000 of people were killed by Bashar, and now 500,000. Who's responsible of this? I think the ones who want democracy in Syria, and you see that from that day of the chemical massacre, they stopped speaking about change or democracy. They began to speak about Daesh every day. We were bombarded by news about Daesh and beheading and everything. And they annexed our struggle to the war on terror. So the change in Syria, the revolution in Syria became something unimportant.
Just to conclude, to be clear, the Russians clearly support Bashar al-Assad, but what you're saying is that America, the West, the regional allies say they want Bashar gone, but in reality, they want him to stay. Very quickly.
Well, I am not saying that all the regional and all the Western powers, but the Americans, yes, and the Israelis. They want either Bashar to stay in power or this situation, that deal.
So you expect him to stay for a long time?
Or to engineer things in a way that they took him out just to save everything else. Everything will stay as it was before. Maybe only Bashar with his billions in Panama or in Switzerland or I don't know where to enjoy the rest of his life.